This is the last video for 10C, and we are on page 76. So we're going to go back and talk about revisiting the quadratic equation. It's here at the top of the page. You remember it from the last unit. And when we used it in the last unit, we didn't know how to simplify radicals. So we sort of left our answers under the radical sign, however they fell out. But of course, now we know different, and we can actually go back and simplify those quadratic equation answers a little bit more than we did in the last unit. So we'll go ahead and just do it. We practice here. A is 2, B is 8, C is -17. And when we start filling in the quadratic formula, we get x is equal to -8 plus or minus 64, b squared, 8 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times 2, which is 4. So don't be plugging this in your calculator. This is for you to work by hand. We're not going to get the decimal answer from the calculator this time. So when we clean this up a little bit, we get -8 plus or minus 64. Minus and minus makes positive. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 17 is 136. And you can satisfy yourself that I did that correctly, hopefully. So keep going, and we get -8 plus or minus the square root of 200, all over 4. And I am going to continue over here. The square root of 200 we can think of was 100 times 2. So that's going to become -8 plus or minus square root of 100 times square root of 2, all over 4, -8 plus or minus 10, radical 2, over 4. And here's where it gets interesting. So this 4 can cancel into the top terms if every single term has a common factor. So 4 will go into 8, but 4 won't go into 10. But 2 is a common factor. So it's almost like taking the GCF out of this numerator and saying, okay, I'm going to take the 2 out, and what do I have left? -4 plus or minus 5, radical 2, all over 4, which is 2 times 2, and these 2's cancel. So your answer becomes -4 plus or minus 5, radical 2, all over 2. That's the most simplified answer. All right, let's look at the second one. See what you think. Maybe we'll have time for the third one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to write the A, the B, and the C. Y'all can do that. I'm just going to start filling in the quadratic formula. So minus B plus or minus B squared minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is 7, all over 2. 2 times 1. So I get -10 plus or minus 10 minus 28 is 72, all over 2. And 72 is 36 doubled. So if I write it like this, 36 times radical 2 over 2, it cleans up where the 6 comes out, radical 2, all over 2. And once again, if you can see that 2 goes into both 10 and into 6, you can just go to your answer, which is -5 plus or minus 3, radical 2. Now, if this had been a 3 here, you couldn't cancel. This would have been your final answer, because this 2, although it goes into the 10, it also needs to go evenly into the other term. So we didn't have one quite like that. Let's do C really quick, and we'll be done with this section. So A is 1, B is 0. There is no x to the first term here, so B is 0 and C is -12. So if we don't, actually, I'm not even going to use the quadratic formula on this. I'm just going to use the square root property. So x squared is equal to 12, square root of both sides, x is equal to radical 12 x is equal to radical 4 times radical 3. So x is equal to plus or minus 2 radical 3. So this should have a plus or minus in front of it. When you're solving an equation, you have the two solutions, the plus and the minus. So we didn't need the quadratic formula on that one. That made that one very simple. Okay, we're done with the videos, and you can do the video check and start looking at the practice for this unit. Thanks.